Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's showtime. As I told you, this man has got an ego just like LeBron James. They crazy. They're crazy, B. This man is a nutcase. A complete nut job. He believes he can get to the White House. He believes he can be president of the United States of America. I kid you not. This is what I be talking about right here. Stephen A. Smith, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let it be understood. This is the same man who said Donald Trump was doing a good job. This is the same man who claimed he used to be a Democrat. Now he's an independent. Now he wants to be what I am. Then he goes even further. The man claims I kid you not. He claims he's under the same cloth, the same umbrella as everybody else. He wants to do what's right for America. I swear to you, this has been the greatest con job in the history of sports and entertainment and just entertainment, period. He's a con man. He admitted it himself. He was a con man since he was a little kid and he couldn't read. He conned everybody to believe that he could read and he was smart. But he created an excuse for himself saying he had dyslexia. That's why he kept failing the 3rd and 4th grade. And he's mad that his daddy said he wasn't smart. So he want to show them that this man could run for president of the United States. This is what Donald Trump provides to the rest of the world. It is hilarious to us. And I told y'all he was going to do this and you thought I was lying. I still remember what you said. You thought I was lying about the whole damn thing. And I said, no, his ego, he wants to be the president of the United States for real. I'm like, it's no joke. This is what he's going to do. He's going to go into a political field. I told you he was going to pivot to that, and you're going to see him less and less on First Take. He wants to go into this political thing. He wants to play this game. Because he saw Trump make it like, man, Trump got $1 billion out of this. He know he's not probably going to win. But you think of all the attention he's going to get for running. This is what it's truly all about. Sure, he would like to win, but he likes his money. off. See, winning would be a big responsibility for him that he's not in position for yet. But leave it to him. He's right on the cusp.
Confidence come from?
I don't think that's my brand. I mean, I think that that's a perception that I give off because I'm fearless in pursuit of my aspirations and of excellence.
No,
And
you're a coward.
Knowing that far more often than not, I'm not going to reach those goals. I'm never going to stop. And my mentality is, to shoot for the stars and you'll catch something. And that's how I go about the business of doing my work every day. You're not going to you're not
catch
going to do
chlamydia.
anything. You're not going to accomplish anything if you never try. If you put roadblocks and impediments in your way, you're ultimately going to stymie yourself and you're never going to find out who you are and what you're made of. And most importantly, you're not going to have a snowball's chance in hell of pulling that off if you're fearful. And you're so fearful that you're afraid to act because you're worried about naysayers and what they're going to say if you fail or whatever. I don't give a damn what they say. I fail today, I'll succeed tomorrow. I don't succeed tomorrow, I'll succeed the next day, the next week, the next month, because there's always a new goal to accomplish.
There's no such thing as failure if you're learning. You either succeed or you learn.
Yeah.
And what you're also layering in there, though, is hard work. What you're saying, I'm fearless and you work really hard. I mean, Stephen had 2 shows already today, so literally, so right?
Yes,
so,
I did.
So, how do you not burn out?
Well, it helps. For once in my life, I can honestly say I'm in shape. I'm in the best shape I've been in 30 plus years. I work out all the time. I eat better. I take care of myself. For a long, long time, I was grinding, and I was grinding to the degree that it was killing me, to be quite honest with you, because I don't have a job. I have a career. A job is doing what you have to do to sustain or elevate your quality of life. A career is doing what you want to do, and it just so happens to do those things. And so I was very...
See, it was exactly what I told you. Stephen A. Smith was sick, ladies and gentlemen. Sick as a dog. That boy was sick. And guess what he did because he was sick? He started working out. The doctor told him your cholesterol level is rocky road. You better get yourself in shape or you're going to be having cardiac arrest. So what did this boy start doing? He started working out. He jumped up. He started moving around. He said, okay, here we go now. I'm going to start eating this kelp and I'm going to eat this carrot. I got to stay in shape. Because ESPN told him they were looking at his medical report and said, hey, you looking a little chunky and old on TV. We not finna have a chunky old Stephen A. Smith looking like he 1 foot in the basket. You gotta get on the treadmill. And what did he sacrifice to get this? Oh, he sacrificed Molly Carroll. Molly had to go. She was the co-host and she wanted to get her paper. Oh no, not Molly. If he can't control you and you ain't gonna kiss his ass every day, oh, you're an equal partner. Oh, really? Oh, no, you got to go. Nothing personal, baby. You can do what you want. You just ain't gonna do it here. Listen to his arrogance. It oozes from being in this position.
Very passionate about what I was doing. I was passionate about the goals that I had placed in front of me, the path that I was taking, and I was willing to outwork anybody. You know, if people were asleep, I was up. You know, if they were one place, I was another. You'd have beat writers, for example, when I was a beat writer for the Philadelphia Inquirer, when Jabari met me, you'd have people and they would all be huddled. And when they were talking to Allen Iverson, I would be talking to the GM. When they were talking to the GM, I'd be talking to Iverson or somebody else. I was always figuring out a way to position myself to stand out. And in the process of doing so, I knew that you had to work tirelessly because, you know, chance favors the prepared mind. And you've got to position yourself to go about striving to get what you're after. And along the way, though, you're grabbing burgers, junk food, candy bars, and doing all of this stuff. And then, you know, you look in the mirror one day and you're like, I'm not a very attractive person. This is not a good look. And then
guess what? I'm a dude. I can't speak for the ladies, but I don't see none of the ladies checking you out, bro. When you was eating that kind of junk food, you had a bad chick. I ain't gonna lie. That chick you brought to the fight that was from Chicago. Yes, she was on point. So I ain't never, ever gonna discredit you for that. Now, I'm gonna tell you this though, bro. And I hope you're listening. And I hope you're listening well. Nobody at the Philadelphia Inquirer respected you. The only reason you got any push was because Allen Iverson co-signed you because you was a black guy working at the newspaper. AI wanted to give the brother a chance. And you pretended like you was this down brother who stabbed him in the back. And being the good man that he is, he forgave you for your betrayal of him and his family and his heart. None of the basketball players was dealing with you till they saw AI was dealing with you. And they said, oh, he must be cool because AI talking to him. They didn't know who the hell you were. Scoob had more pull than you. This is what I'm talking about. People get very delusional about their position and want to rewrite history when they get down the road. That's what this is. This is just a rewriting of history. Stephen A. Smith is sitting up here rewriting history as it's going along.
on top of it all, you start feeling, feel great, and you're waking up with headaches and all of that stuff. And then COVID came, and I was one of those people it almost took out of here. We're walking into, 2021, 2022, it's New Year's Eve, and I'm in the emergency room with my lady by my side, and, the doctor looks at me and says, we're gonna try these steroids and this antibiotic, and if it doesn't work, within 3 hours, you're gonna have to call your family. So, I'm looking at it, and I'm my girl, she just breaks down, she starts crying because she's like, I gave up. Because I was like, bump it. And the reason why I said that was because I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, I'm a very casual drinker. And my sister came down with COVID the same time I did. She was out, and she smokes every day. And she was fine in 3 or 4 days. And me, I'm in the emergency room 3 different times over 3 weeks. And I'm like, what the hell? It got me. And so, I actually thought it was just my time. And then once I ultimately survived through that, Dana White for the UFC found out about how bad off I was and introduced me, to this biologist, Gary Brecker for 10X Health at the time, that's now the Ultimate Human. And he said, take care of him. He looked at my blood work and he said, every single problem you can have in the human body, you practically have. You're 0.1 point away from being a full-blown diabetic. Your cholesterol level's over 300. You this, you that. I mean, he just reading it off.
Right.
And, you know, he gave me something like some sodium with some water to get rid of my headaches.
Yep.
And he said most people that think they hydrated, they think they're not hydrated enough. He said they think it's because of lack of water. It's not that, it's because of a lack of sodium. He said that's what's bothering you. Once he got rid of my headaches, because I had woken up with headaches since I was 19.
Right.
Up in this, now I'm in my 50s. And it got rid of the headaches. So I listened to him. And then I got on this health kick. Once I saw that progress, it became an addiction. And suddenly, 5-6 days a week, I'm making sure I do something, taking my vitamins, my supplements, exercise, and eating better.
And that's a good thing for him, because Dana White introduced that guy to his mother also, because that guy saved his life. This is why he's so indebted to Dana White. Now you learning all this information. Stephen A. was never a real one. See, this is the problem that most people don't realize about him. He's a con man. He told you in his own book, I'm a con man. I used to con people into believing I was smart by learning big words when he was young. But he didn't fool his teachers. They grading your work and you failing. That's a con man. Now, what he said is very moving. And it's very true. People need to change their diets. Like me, I had to start changing things around. I'm like, look, man, because I sit around a lot doing this, talking with y'all. Then I started moving around. I don't drink heavy like him. I don't smoke. But when you go to the movies like I do, you're eating popcorn, you're eating chicken nuggets, mozzarella sticks, you know, all these processed foods isn't good for you. And me, I'm a guy that likes to 100% eat accordingly. Like, I'm gonna eat chicken, fish, shrimp. I'm gonna eat that pretty much throughout the entire process. It's very rare I'm eating red meat. That's like a reward for me. And if I do, it's a porterhouse. I really treat myself. I'm like, look, if I'm gonna be out here doing all this work, I'm gonna sit down and eat a balanced meal. I get up, do my walks every day, getting in 15,000 to 20,000 steps a day, because we don't want to admit it, but we don't go to the doctor enough. And when you do go to the doctor, you're getting a big ass bill, and it seems like they ain't do a goddamn thing for you. You can drop a lot of stuff by cutting out sugary things. I don't eat candy like that anymore. My body, once you get older, your body don't even want that stuff. I don't have a craving for candy. People eat it because it's cheap and it's available. But when we was kids, we grew up, man, we had so much sugar and stuff. It's the ingredients have changed. Throughout the years, these ingredients have changed and they haven't been right for you. Now you got, instead of real sugar, they replaced that with this artificial sugar. All these different things that they use in the United States, they don't even use. It's banned in other countries. That's why you can't have certain candy. That's why there's different Coca-Colas in every different place you go. The New Zealand Coca-Cola, they was like, hey, man, I went to the Coca-Cola plant. They got the sample from each Coca-Cola in every place. You drink it, you be like, oh, my God, what is this? It was like, this the Coke over there. And the reason why is because the taste is different. It's just like the Matrix. How they was eating a steak and what it really tastes like. They was like, oh, my God. This is nasty. They can't put all of the chemicals that Coca-Cola use in the United States. It's illegal to do that in other countries. Now, what chemicals are they putting in this material that's illegal? Well, it ain't just the sugar. You see, it's all type of drugs. It's all type of chemicals that they're putting in there to process. Now, Stephen A. Smith feeling like he survived death because he was looking bad on TV for a while. He was looking real bad. He was looking awful. And then he came out with this. And now, since he got his deal, he didn't got his shape, he could do 20 push-ups now. He back in the game. And now, since he's back in the game, this is the reality that he's faced with. So he's telling his story. Now he feels he could do anything. He could be president. Trump then ran. Now, if you had to vote between Kanye West or Stephen A. Smith, who's it gonna be? If they were the only two running, I don't care who else ran. I ain't voting for Stephen A. Smith for a goddamn thing. Because he's a con man. He done hustled his way and conned everybody to $100 million deal. Do you know how he got that deal? Skip Bayless had to bring him into ESPN after he was fired. He was completely fired. He was working at a cubicle at CNN. Skip Bayless found the way to bring him in while he was still under contract with ESPN. They was paying him to stay at home until his contract burned out and he was out. He was never going to work at ESPN again. Fox didn't want him. And he said, oh, he'll be perfect for this new show I got, this debate show. Stephen A. Smith got it. He came in, kissed Skip's ass. They brought him in, and he just made appearances here and there. Jalen Rose had a job. And blew the whole show up when he went at Skip Bayless. But because he embarrassed Skip, he was not going to have Jalen Rose on the show ever again. And it never happened. It never happened after that. Then he goes, Skip Bayless is finna leave. Stephen A. Smith was supposed to go with him. But he got one more year on his deal. Skip deal is up. So him and Jamie Horowitz, who hired him to do the show, they go over to Fox. And he grabs Shannon Sharpe. And they gone. So the next year, Stephen A. Smith contract is going to be up. So before they even get to that, they make a deal with Stephen A. Smith to be the face because they can't let both of the faces go. So he leveraged that he gonna go over there with Skip Bayless, even though Shannon Sharpe is already gone. He leveraged that to say, well, Fox is gonna offer me a deal and I'm gonna be gone. So they had to pay him $30 million to keep him there. So he get like 20-something million, close to 30 million to stay. So now he's happy. He got his 20, 30-something million dollars. Now he back. Big boy talking. Now, Skip Bayless got 25 million Stephen A. like, I got 30 million, but he didn't. His contract was like 16 million. He was lying. He was trying to pretend like his deal was that high. It was not. His deal was like for 16 million. Not putting that down. That was good for him. Now, going through that process, he goes through the gambit. When it's time for the re-up, to use his influence to get Max Kellerman fired. Say it's either me or Max. No one ain't gonna keep you because you've been on there with Skip. So now they got to get rid of Max Kellerman to appease you yet again. The network is losing money. They close down California and everywhere else, bring everybody up to Connecticut. All those outlets getting closed. They come all the way back to New York, where you at in Connecticut. And Pat McAfee is being brought in to try to save the day. You go at it with Pat McAfee. Because you looking stupid, Pat McAfee comes in and get $100 million deal and don't have to deal with nobody from ESPN. So now you want to redo your whole podcast show. And now you finna put all your money in this podcast to try to build it up like Pat McAfee. And say, I'm bigger than Pat McAfee. They're going to have to pay me the same amount of money they paid Pat. But they didn't take your show. They didn't take the Stephen A. Smith show. They said, no. We ain't paying for that. But you turned down that money because you wanted the same money Pat was getting, or you was going to leave. So they put you on this new deal, gave you your $100 million, but now you going to do football, you going to do basketball. They finna move you around the globe, boy. They going to work you. They going to put you on that plantation and they going to work you. But look how arrogant he is sitting here in this chair. Listen to him.
The better I felt, the more lethal I became, because suddenly I wasn't tired the way that I was. And I wasn't just pushing to the point where you feeling exhausted. No, I had energy and then some. Yep. And that's what made me even better. And so it was like a new lease on life, because I felt, hey, you can't stop me now because you couldn't stop me before.
When you were at that point where you were like, this could be it.
Yeah.
What were you thinking? What was going through your mind? That
it was shock. It was shock because I couldn't believe it. I was like, again, I do not smoke. I don't do drugs.
This is what's crazy. Everything he's saying, other people have said. But he's so caught in himself in the illusion of him being so into himself. You couldn't stop me back then. Stop you? Who was trying to stop you? Your show wasn't good. Everybody was talking about Skip and Shannon. They wasn't talking about your show. Your show had no weight. And you knew it. That's why you wanted Max Kellerman gone. And then when Max Kellerman left, it wasn't like you burnt down the walls. Your show didn't take off until you got Shannon Sharpe over there when he fell out with Skip. You are a con man. Then you tried to make it look like you hired Shannon Sharpe over there. You didn't do that. That was the bosses. And Shannon doubled the numbers. That's how big Shannon Sharpe was over you. That's why he could go to social media and build his platform up. Club Shay Shay, Nightcap. He got 2 platforms rolling. While you had to hold on and do whatever Massa say. That's Stephen A. Smith. In a nuthole. A con man. And he's trying to con his way into a presidential election.
And I'm a very, very casual drinker. I like my Hennessy and Coke. That's 1 or 2 glasses, when I go out to dinner. If I'm not going out to dinner, I'm not drinking. I'm not home grabbing a Hennessy and Coke. And so I'm a very casual drinker at best. My drug is sugar. Like, even in my 50s, listen, I'm on my health kick, and my security backstage blocked me from the potato chips.
I saw that.
Because I saw the potato chips, and I'm like,
true.
I mean, it's that, it's Skittles, don't get me started with my cereal, my honeycombs, my sugar pops, my Fruit Loops. I mean, if it wasn't for, me prioritizing my health, you need to understand how bad it is for me. I could eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yep.
You see, I can go home, and not that I have that problem, but
I can't do that. I can't do that. Now, I can't overload like that. That's you asking to be a diabetic doing that. You're asking for all kind of health problems. You are. You're inviting that kind of stuff into your life. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to be the process in your mind? Huh? What is going to be the reality? You're an outlaw. You want Stephen A. Smith to be sitting there, judge, jury, and executioner? Look how he's doing black athletes on television. You want that? In the White House, you already got Donald Trump and his administration. You dealing with that. Now we're going to go to Stephen A. Smith. Of course he won't win. It's not about him winning. It's about this.
Could go home and there could be no food in the house. And if you got a bowl, if you got some cereal and milk, I'm good. So that's the sugar addict that I was.
But you don't, and you look good. What you were talking about, and again, I think that's true in any profession. You were a contrarian, where the pack's going this way, you're going that way. What was it like starting out in journalism? And again, we're the same age, and we're talking to the best room of black leaders in America.
Yeah.
You a lot of times I'm sure you were the only one who looked like you in a lot of the rooms when you were starting, at least in terms of the kind of how'd you navigate that, and how'd you because a lot of people here have that same issue in some of the fields there.
Well, here's what I would say to you. Racism is a part of life. You're a black man, you're a black person in America. It exists. You know it exists. But you almost cannot pay attention to it. And the reason why is because it's not going away. It's not going anywhere. So we live in a time right now, and everybody, you'll have people that'll be up on stage here, and they'll leave from here, and they'll talk about, the climate that we're living in, the trials and tribulations, the trouble. And I'm like, really? It's always been this way for us. Sometimes it's more subtle. Sometimes it's more apparent and evident. But it never escapes us. And so, but I'm one of those guys that I've always focused on drawing a distinction between the system and individuals. The system itself is catered in such a way where if white folks catch a cold, black folks go catch pneumonia. It's always worse for us than it is for folks in white America. But
that's because of people like you, Stephen A. You see, it's because of people like him. That's what the part he's missing and he's leaving out. It's because of you. You turning the other cheek. Don't get involved. Don't do this. Don't do that. If everybody moved like you moved and they didn't do anything, we would have the same results. we'll be in the same boat. We wouldn't have no voting rights. We wouldn't be able to use the same bathrooms as everybody did what Stephen A. said. We all just ignore it. It ain't going nowhere. Let's turn ahead. No progress will ever be made. So what you complaining about right now, white people getting cold, black people getting pneumonia. It just ain't going, ain't no way to change it. Because yo punk ass, people like you particularly, you are the problem. The way you think, the way you move, everything you have done has been a problem. Your ideals, the way you jump like a yard dog at black people and cower to white folks, that does not preach empowerment. That does not preach commander-in-chief of military. You are a spineless man. There's no more use for another spineless human being. I look at you, I don't see nothing I respect. I don't respect anything from you. You shown me the way of how not to do things. And you try to preach as if you this smart genius that everyone needs to follow your formula and you would be rich. At what cost? Everything's about money? That's it? I'd rather have my integrity intact before I get money. I get money another way before I do it that way. I could have easily taken your route where they pat you on the head and say, that's a good boy. You think I'm not built that way to be that guy. I can't ignore what you could turn around and ignore and act like you don't see it. Ain't no racism here. If it is, I ain't seen any. That's been one of the main problems. Well, when people figure it out, hopefully they get there, But it's what we've all stated before. Like, nobody's like, this is not something that just came out of nowhere. You feel me? Everybody knows about it. There's no surprise. There's no shock and awe. People know what it is.
I don't know why we leaving Master's house. He been good to us. He feeds us on Saturday, closes on Sunday, and then beat us on Monday. Or was it Tuesday? I don't know.
Jasper, I just want to go out the house, nigga, Jasper.
What?
Jasper, don't you want freedom? You want promise?
Promise land. Please?
Oh, Jasper.
Baltimore?
No, that's the promised land.
Oh, promised land. Minnesota?
And that's Stephen A. Smith right there. That's what he is in a nutshell. Nothing has changed. Same guy. Well, you see what he's trying to do is make an excuse for his way of thinking. We gotta answer to somebody. Everybody gotta answer to somebody. It's not about answering to somebody. But it's always about being respected. You might have a boss at your job, but my boss is gonna respect me. He gonna give me my proper respect. I'm gonna get my proper etiquette from my boss. If not, then I'm not gonna work there. My job is to do my job. My job ain't to sit there and try to stop people from getting money on their contracts because the boss don't like them. So I gotta kiss up to what the boss like? No. Like I said, this man has been a fraud for years. A fraud. You went to a technical school. It was only 3 black guys in the school, and you couldn't make the basketball team to your senior year. But you was Steph Curry. You hit 33 pointers in a row. This is the type of mentality I gotta listen to. And he puts all this crap in a book called Straight Shooter. It should be called straight bullshit. Because that's exactly what you did, is lie in the book. My brother was best friends with Jam Master Jay. Your brother was not best friend. You lived on the same block. They knew not to mess with me, saying that dude, he going somewhere. He going to the NBA. He going to... Really? They looked at you and decided that this little skinny broke bum of a kid is going to the NBA, yet he going to a technical school. You're going to a technical school for tech, and you couldn't even make the basketball team, and everybody in the hood, all the drug dealers and gangbangers do, don't bother that kid. He got a future. He gonna make it in basketball. Who believes this shit? This dude has done nothing but lie. This is why he's so mad at Jason Whitlock, because he can't. Jason Whitlock know, like I know. You full of it. You see, he knows he's full of shit. Jason Whitlock is. He knows that. But he knows that about you too. But you so mad at him because he's the Wayne guy out here exposing you. You made history, buddy. Your name to fame in writing came from when you wrote that article about Carlton Hines. And you lied to the family, pretending like you was a friend of Carlton Hines, went there and interviewed him, and throwing a dead black man's whole family and disgracing them in the newspaper. And they talked about how you deceived them, pretending to be a friend of Carlton. Talking about you wanted to tell his story. I never said I was his best friend. I was just, listening to the story, and I related to the young black man because I'm a black man. You got in there and did that, and that was when you first got started with your BS. Every lie you told in the book, we went and fact-checked. They don't have none of your articles in the archives. Why is that? None of these so-called explorative articles you wrote about this serial killer that was going around. You wrote one little paragraph. Another writer covered the entire case, the entire story. He did it. You said you did it, and it broke you out. You just told lie after lie after lie. Where's that Coach Gaines story? Have you ever dug that up? Dig that article up that made you. That's what you named your book after. You claim that article made your life change. What you wrote about Coach Gaines. Now, what you wrote about Coach Gaines should, no doubt, 100%. Where's that article? Where's your Coach Gaines article? We want to read it. We want to read the words that you said got the coach fired. Because we all know that's a lie. Coach Gaines was fired because of a rule they said you couldn't coach past a certain age. They made that rule up for college basketball. Couldn't coach past a certain age. So they forced him into retirement years after you were gone. So how in the hell was your article the article that got the coach fired? And Coach Gaines gave you all this blessing. You a liar, man. You a flat out liar. It's exactly what you are. A bold-faced liar. I will call you a liar to your face, Stephen A. Coach Gaines never wrote about you once in his book. Not once. He's never mentioned you. Because what's there to mention? You didn't play in any game. So what is this about your old teammates? What teammates? You never played a game. You was off the team after the first damn year. You cracked your damn knee and you quit. You could have came back and played. You quit. Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah, y'all will all like the Patreon today because we got down. ESPN let them lie. They let a lot of them lie, but the problem is how they lied. That's the big problem. How they allowed them to lie. It don't make any sense in the world. That's what gets me more upset than anything on the planet is that y'all let this go down and nobody said nothing. This dude had no credibility whatsoever. It was all made up and manufactured. He's a liar. And this is why he feel he can do what he's doing. He's like, man, I done made it this far. Let me see if I can go run for president. I'm Stephen A. Smith. Somebody gonna vote for me. And then I get all this attention. I love it. I love it. When someone's a scumbag, they are a scumbag for life.
That did not just have a job. The way you have a career, the way you have a business is to have just like you own parts of, a lot of the things you're on, that you have a brand. Was that a conscious decision or did that evolve?
Man, I'm 57 years old. And I think when I first really embraced the fact that I have a brand was about 2 years ago. There's a guy that's very near and dear to me. It's my guy, Rashawn McDonald, who's in my life. Yeah, I could call him a producer, but he's an all.
You see this? Didn't I tell you he was stupid? Didn't I tell you all he did was hustle? Didn't I tell you he was a con artist? This man has been in ESPN for about 30 years. All this stuff he's been doing, he said he just now realizing he had a brand. 2 years ago. When Pat McAfee showed up. Now all of a sudden, you see what a brand is. You see, he didn't come there to work for the bosses and say, let me see how much money I could make them and see how much they give me back. No, he came in as a business and said we can partner. But he's not an employee of ESPN. He's an employee of his own business. He came with his own staff and crew saying, no, I already got my people. Y'all can distribute what I put out. That's a boss. He had a brand. Now you're going to try to build one with the Stephen A. Smith show and try to make your whole show and cater it to that. I'm going to build my name up. I'm a brand. You ain't shit.
All-purpose individual, you know, and he's very big on the brand all the time. Drives me crazy because for me, I never think about it. I do what I do. And my attitude is the brand will marinate to me, whatever that is, because I'm going to be me. What has happened is that
you're consistently you. That's important.
Well,
right?
again, because I know how to be me. You know, I don't know how to be anybody else. I know how to be me. And so, you know, when you,
a lot of people in your profession fake it.
Well, that's why they're not here. I'm sitting here. They're not. But here's the deal. When you take that path and you're doing what you do, here's what happened. I'm in pursuit of a contract with ESPN at the time. I have no doubt that it's going to be a record-breaking contract. And before the negotiations took, black man, this is how you feel, whether it's true or not. You feel they're waiting for one slip up, one mistake, anything. If you spray perfume, they'll say you passed the gas. I mean, it could be anything. And you're literally sitting there like, I gotta go to work every day doing what I do, knowing that the slightest thing could be interpreted and twisted in a fashion that will enable them to say, see, we can't trust him. And you have to remember, when somebody pays you, they're investing in you. And along the way, what that means is they're saying they trust you. You have to be trustworthy. You can't be somebody.
5-year
you can't. Damn right. You cannot be somebody that they don't trust. So I had to establish myself as a trustworthy individual. But somebody who was a high-end performer as well.
He's just a good old boy. He didn't mean any harm. He's just a good old boy who didn't mean any harm. This dude believes he's special. He thinks he's incredible. I can't believe this. I'm listening to this dude. This is the most arrogant interview I probably have ever heard in my life.
Masses. All of those things come in. Okay, well, what are the masses saying about you? How do they feel about you? What do they think about you? What are the pros and the cons? What are the do's and the don'ts? What are the whys and why nots? And answering that question was when I faced the fact, okay, this is the Stephen A. Smith brand. I accepted it and I marched on from there because I knew even if I wanted to tweak it or twist it or anything, whatever people felt about me, I had everything to do with because I was the one who presented myself to them for the last several decades. I can't blame them for how they're looking at me. I have to own it. And that's what I did.
Great. And, reportedly, 5 years, over $100 million.
Something like that.
So that's, But saying you're doing a business deal with a brand and with somebody who represents something.
Yeah.
So what's the lesson for this group? Because we talk a lot here, at the BLK Summit about how you advocate for yourself, how you know your value. What's the biggest lesson you took out of that for this group?
Well, one of the things is to make sure that you're trustworthy. It's important, and what I mean by trustworthy is whatever you present yourself to be, make sure you know beforehand what you're presenting yourself as being. That imagery and that presentation that you put forth, maintain consistency. You can elevate, you can grow, but I can't look at you and see a foreigner compared to what was presented to me when you're looking to do business with me, because then I can't trust it. You're like an amoeba, you're all over the place. I don't know who you are, what you stand for. I don't know what you're bringing to the table. You have to make sure that you have something to offer. You have to be committed to that. You have to understand that when you want people to do business with you, you're telling them that you have, whether it's a service or product or anything, this is what I'm bringing to the table. I'm not here just to take, I'm here to give. One of my famous sayings is and it happened after I got let go by ESPN in 2009. And what I learned from that experience is that in the aftermath of that experience, I said, how do I make my boss's money? Number two, how do I get some attention? First of all, everything's about money in this day and age because ain't nothing free. So let's just get over that. Okay, that's number one. Number two, what do I really, really mean by that? Why do I come up with that statement? Here's why. If you're a boss and I come to you committed to making you money, you're going to listen to me. You want to hear what I have to say. Because essentially, I'm not coming to you with a problem. I'm coming to you with solutions.
See, this is a mentality of a worker, not a boss. That's the mentality of a worker trying to talk like a boss. He has a worker's mentality. You made a lot of money working as an employee, not being a boss. You didn't make a lot of money being a boss. You made a lot of money being an employee. So stop talking boss talk when you're an employee. You're not a boss. You're just now in the past 2 years trying to be a boss. You haven't made no money being a boss yet. So you telling everybody how to be workers for the boss. Think about how you gonna make your boss more money and how can you get a piece of it? That don't work for everybody in that position. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. People think about doing their jobs and getting their money, finding their way to get more money on the job. Nobody give a damn about what the boss, how can I make the boss more money? You act like you came in with an idea how to make the bosses more money. So let's listen to your philosophy, right? You came in with the philosophy in 2009, how you gonna make the bosses more money? Did they make more money with you? Did they really make more money with you? Thanks, TJ, appreciate that. Did they really make more money with you? You see, they let your ass go quick, fast, and hurt. Why? Because they got other people that make them money just like you. You were expendable. You was a cog in a chain. And you didn't learn then. You was at CNN working at a cubicle thinking, how can you make CNN more money and you can get a piece of it? Well, I'm going to tell you like this. Not the way you thinking. The way you thinking, the boss is always in control. He gonna have you basically on hands and needles, pins and needles, walking around soft shoeing, tiptoeing, and up there begging and just waiting on the master's generosity. I don't give a damn about my boss. At no job, just like my boss don't give a damn about me. He gives a damn about the work. When I go there, he knows the work is going to be done. Whatever that's assigned for me to do, I'm doing. And I'm gone. I'm worried about my check. My boss's job is to have my check. That's my boss's job. That's what I'm thinking about is my check. My overtime better be right and they better not mess up on my hours. Nobody I know even want to see the goddamn boss. They don't want to see the boss under no goddamn circumstances. Unless it's about, why am I not getting hours? Man, I need overtime. Man, I need the day off. Other than that, I don't need to see the boss. Who want to see the boss? Nobody go in there thinking about the boss and his, man, I got to make the boss some more money. Then maybe he'll give me a raise. That ain't how it work. I done seen people make, oh man, this dude is great. He come up with great ideas. No, what you did was kiss everybody's ass, stab everybody in the back around you so you could get close to the boss so they trust you to go out and recruit other people just like you. Go bring me more Toms. Go get them, boy. I bet you they feel real comfortable telling race jokes around. Probably laugh. Yeah, that is how we be, though. I'm like, wow. Now, I'm telling you, when you got that kind of mentality, it keeps you weak. They don't teach white people to think that. Have you ever heard a white man say, I'm in there trying to figure out how much money I can make my boss, and hopefully I can get a piece of it? I'm not working and praying for the boss's generosity. That's not what I'm doing. You can try to justify it how you want. But there's a reason they teach economics in higher schools, in higher planes. Even with jobs where people are employees, most of them are independent contractors. You see, at my job, I was an independent contractor in almost every job I was at, which means I was my own boss. We had a guy we looked up to who was the supervisor of everything, but we was responsible for paying our own taxes. They didn't take the taxes out of our money. We did that. We were independent contractors. So we were all bosses. What we brought to the table, we brought to the table. We didn't think a damn thing about no boss. Like they was like, Jacob Klein is your boss. Man, I mean, Jacob Klein ain't my motherfucking boss. Shoot, I'm from the Robert Taylor homes. I ain't got no goddamn boss. What the hell? They done lost their mind. They see, and Jacob Klein knew that. That's why Jacob Klein was like, I want to get rid of you. I don't like you, but I got to keep you because you make money. See, that's the difference between you and me. The boss didn't want me. He wished he could have gotten rid of me, but he knew I can't because I'm eating off of him because he's one of the top earners in the place. But I don't want him here. I left them. I didn't need it. I'm like, dude, I make 4 times this on YouTube already. I'm just really doing it because I can. It gets me out the house. But I'm making money on YouTube, dude. You already know I was making money on YouTube. So I already had my own business. And I said, I could do this myself. I could cut you off. I don't have to pay Jacob Klein. Jacob Klein, all he cared about was messing around with young girls on the job, getting them pregnant, knocking them up. I was like, yeah, this fool gonna be fired anyway. I don't even know why they put him in charge. And I told the guy, because I didn't work with Jacob Klein. I worked with the African guy. But he lost his office because he had a goofy as his number 1 assistant. I was like, look, here's your problem. And he was a good guy. Troy was a great manager, everything. His problem is he doesn't know how to assert his office. The person he got is unreliable, and he's your assistant. He's the one that you trust in with all your training. He's your right-hand man. And once he saw his assistant was slacking, I'm like, dude, your assistant is late. He's coming here with half his shirt untucked. His car is like some hoopty with rims on it. I was like, I'm driving a better car than your assistant. And I'm like, and your right-hand man, and he's telling me how he gonna make me money. You see how crazy that sounds? I was like, look, you're gonna have to get your team together and your structure, or this is gonna fall apart. And it's not because I drove a better car than him. It's just the stature of what they would say, the clergy system, the order, and how it went. It went from Todd, it went to him, then it went to the rest of us. And it's like, he's the one, he makes you look bad. It's the thing that they say, if I don't look good, you don't look good. You see what I'm saying? You can't be the only one that's sharp as a tack, and the person that's your right hand is looking off. He makes you look bad. So if you come in there to work, you see that, you're going to be like, oh, this ain't functional. Something here is off. No, he wasn't scamming. We actually had products. What we did was we had companies. See, what people don't realize is, like, we had DirecTV, we had cable, we had everything. You see, we had our own business set up, Chicago Marketing Company. And what we did was say, okay, we got our own business. We're our own independent contractors. We're bosses. So what we could do, I say you want to get DirecTV, I could sell you DirecTV. I had a license. to sell you DirecTV. I don't work for DirecTV. DirecTV has never cut me a check in their life. I work for DirecTV, never. I sold DirecTV. I would call the homes. I would meet the people, call them up. They had bad cable, Comcast, whatever. I can get them a deal. Have called a truck, the guy who does the installments and delivery. They go get the parts. They go over there and install it. I get the money. What I did was cut out the middleman. I cut out the company DirecTV. I said, I'll pay y'all products. Y'all can get signed up. Y'all get the monthly installments. As long as they cared about was installments. I can get them installments. I could get the installments. And I did. I had the highest out of everybody in the company. Why? Because I knew how to sign people up. You ever go to Walmart and you see that booth desk and you might see some people that's there for DirecTV and all that stuff when you go to Walmart, Target or something like that, and you see how they got that desk set up and they can get you cable and everything else. That's what we had. We had people working with us. They'll be in those stores getting DirecTV, selling you the product. They get you a better deal than you going to DirecTV and getting it. Then the government phones came out. And everybody got free government phones, and they was calling them the Obama phones. You remember that? I got licensed, had my ID, everything. All I had to do, and I'm like, dude, you're not finna rip me off. The guy, this is where we ended up moving to Jacob Klein's office, and I didn't want to work with Jacob Klein. He didn't know me. He didn't know anything about me. He just made an assumption just by looking at me. Like, oh, this guy is gonna end. He was like, well, that's my top guy. That's what Troy told him. Troy's like, that's my top seller. You cool with the other guy who screws up all the time because you and him are just alike. Then they had the business meeting that's supposed to win everybody over. And I'm like, this is tacky. I told him, I said, dude, I've been in with Fortune 500 companies, sitting down with executives, billionaires, on yacht parties. And I'm sitting here in this company with all the people from around the United States. We all get together from the companies and we all come together for this big company luncheon. And the guys who's supposed to be the head honchos, the top of the top, the guy y'all ask y'all kiss and y'all praise all the time in the office, they're sitting here with me and they thinking I run the damn office. They looking at me like, dude, where have you been? And I got a picture with this guy. This guy's in a suit that's like 3 times small, like he wore it for his high school graduation, and now he's 3 times his size. And I'm like, this is the guy? I'm like, oh, y'all are really failing. And they was like, hey, come on out. And they trying to tell us to go to work. Man, y'all need to go ahead and run your teams, man. No, even though we got this party, your team still got to go out and do something. I'm like, man, I ain't doing shit today. They done lost their goddamn mind. They think I'm finna go to work. No, he's just pissed off because the bosses, the ones, the higher ups, they're looking at me and not looking at them. And they're pissed because I don't have to kiss their ass, Stephen A. See, that's the part you miss. You think ass kissing is a good way to go. They can find another ass kisser anytime they want. They need to find an ass kisser that's bringing in the money. You're not bringing in the money, buddy. So they gonna work it. You see Pat McAfee got one job and got $100 million. He ain't gotta go do all these other shows. He do WWE because he a fan of it. But then he said, look, man, I can't go all over the globe and do that, man. When y'all come to Indianapolis, I got you. But other than that, I got to do my show. He good. He ain't got to go out in a blizzard in Milwaukee. Yo, I'm back in Stephen A. Smith. They got you in a blizzard. They got you in a rainstorm. They got you in OKC. Then you got to wake up and do the damn morning show. They are wearing your dumb ass out. And you thinking you're smart. You just got 80 more new jobs for $100 million plus. when one man got one job for $100 million, and you think you the smart guy. It's called time for dollars, Stephen. That's how bosses think. Pat McAfee is the blueprint you should have been thinking about. He the one got you thinking about brands. He came through the door like that. He didn't come through the door working for you. He came through the door because he built his own thing from the ground up, then brought that. He had something tangible to bring to the company. Under your watch and tutelage, they had to fire everybody. Closing all their offices down, but you bringing them money. All your ideas, quite frankly, lost them money. Everything you was doing was losing the money. But you big money. No, they just know you. You're a familiar face. Nobody tunes in for Stephen A. This is the reality here. This is what people need to be hearing. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this BS that's been going on for so long. Everybody perpetrating, creating a narrative that don't even exist. All because they want to live in the lie. They're never going to figure it out. Some people are okay with just doing the bare minimum. They are. No matter what the bare, I thought I was going to have to do some more work than this. They just want to do the bare minimum. They just want to do just enough to get by. This is what I was telling y'all beforehand. How people are just so sick. They sick of these perpetrators, man.
Potential. Because that is the case, your door is always open. I don't get on the phone. I can't pick up the phone and call the chairman of Disney or ESPN or the president of content or the executive VP and they ignore me. It's not because I'm Stephen A. It's because of who Stephen A. is proven to be. When I call, it could work for us. What are your thoughts, et cetera, et cetera. And because of that, it entices them to want to listen. And before long, all of a sudden, instead of just listening to you about what you're presenting to them, they'll pick up the phone and call you. Want to talk to you about something. We got this issue. We got that issue. What are you?
Wrong. If Stephen A. is lying right here. No, you don't. You got to call, well, you used to have to call Norby, and you had to call Burke. You had to call all the bosses before you can get to a Jimmy Pitaro. You're not going to just get up and call no Bob Iger. Are you crazy? That's the biggest lie you've ever told. You didn't have that power. Pat McAfee had that power. He responds to Jimmy Pitaro and Bob Iger. If he had a problem, he called them directly. Norby, he didn't even know who the hell that was, and he had no control over him. And they tried to sabotage the man since he's been there. No, he tried to be cool like Stuart Scott. See, Stuart Scott would have never been involved in this circus of what ESPN and sports media has become. Anybody who have any intelligence or any credibility and went to school for journalism who could really do the job, they have been ostracized for people with no talent, C level, and they can pay them for cheap. That's why they're there. Stephen A. Smith isn't the best of the best. He knows nothing about basketball. He knows nothing about football. He knows nothing about politics. He knows he's a con artist. And you hear him talk, that's what he sounds like. He was sitting there talking about the doggone NBA finals like he's watching the game. He's playing solitary. He just up there BSing. Oh no, they know this the NBA finals. Yeah, here we go. They know what time it is. They know what we here for. Everybody know what they here for, and they gotta bring. It's like, dude, are you crazy? Are you crazy? Anybody with common sense listen to you, they think of you as a fool. A straight stone cold fool.
Your thoughts. What do you think we should do? Where's your head at? Et cetera, et cetera. And your opinion and your thoughts are important before they reach a conclusion because you've proven to them that you're in it for them, not just yourself.
What you're saying is you can be the highest paid person in the organization and the best value in the organization as well.
Okay.
And that's you know.
That works.
And that's how you make the money.
Nothing
All
wrong
right,
with
let's talk. In 2015, I spent a lot of time with Donald Trump, and my conclusion, even all the way until Election Day, was he actually didn't want to get elected president. He saw this was the best marketing opportunity in the history. Like he didn't put that much money into the campaign. He was doing, he was kind of just doing a glider campaign, and he realized, wow, I get so much attention for doing this. This is great. People care what I say about things. I got invited to speak at things. The question I got is, Stephen A. Smith 28, are you serious about that, or is that fun? Because we're seeing
it's hard to say. And the reason why I say it's hard to say, because I'm not joking when I say it. I believe I can beat them all. I believe I can win the presidency if I really put my heart to it.
And there it is. This man thinks he can beat Donald Trump in an election. Trump can't run no more. But you think you can beat them all? I guarantee your ass won't be close. The world gonna show you exactly what they think of you. This man believes he could be president of the United States of America because he kiss ass. Yeah. Well, Pat McAfee is its own show, its own entity, it has its own following. What ESPN wants to do is to have a show that people can watch consistently and have, see, this is what people don't understand. People like Gilbert Arenas. It's called adherence, right? Or audience retention. That's where the money is. When I do a live stream, people that don't click on my live stream and jump off, they normally here for the whole goddamn ride. The whole 1 hour, how many times, whatever's on the table. They here for it. They're not sitting around wondering. They know what we bring to the table. Ari Emanuel is going to push him because he's a familiar face. He's got friends in the industry. It's who he's connected to. Dana White, a guy who's able to beat his wife. That's why he came out there and started White. Nobody would. Oh, T, you missed the video I did earlier. I had to come out and defend the Detroit Pistons' honor. All these Bulls fans start talking crazy. I had to let them know the truth yet again. So he says he could beat all of them.
I truly do. I don't want to do it. I'm not a politician. I have no desire to be a politician. And the reason I have no desire to be a politician is because I see the chaos on Capitol Hill. I see 100 senators. I see 435 congressional figures. I need a majority of them. I need to coax them into seeing my way and flowing along with me, which means I got to flow along with them. And that's why I say it's highly unlikely that I would ever do it, especially with the money I'm making. I ain't trying to give up my money. I can tell you that right now. But the reason why I don't laugh about it and I don't dismiss it is for several reasons. Number one, loved ones, including my pastor and others, was like, leave the door open because you never know what God has planned. Number two, you know, when you talk about somebody like a Donald Trump and talk about marketing, you talk about him resonating. Well, if I was on the campaign trail, let's see what I would do, because I'm not playing. I don't like what I see. And when I think about it from that standpoint, I cannot tell you how badly I wish that I did not have to be an elected official. I did not have to run for office, but I could get on the debate stage with these people, with what they have done to our country. And I'm not talking about just this administration. I'm talking about all of them. I'm talking about all of them. They all make me sick to some degree. I'm not talking about individuals, but I'm talking about the structure. What transpires on Capitol Hill is some disgusting nonsense. And America, the American citizen, has been played as suckers. And they haven't had anybody to call them out the way I would be able to call them out.
So basically, he wants to grandstand. As he just sat here, right, he wants to go up there and grandstand and do his Stephen A. Smith stick. No. We're talking about healthcare. But see, he wants to do all of that, but he's not going to have any solutions because he knows he's a BS artist. So that part he want to do. He just want to go straight to a debate. But he don't want to go to campaign. He don't want to listen to the people's problems. All the things that you saying you don't want to do, these people have to do. You ain't going to the communities to see what's going on. You don't want to be responsible for that because you know you can't. That's not what you want to do. You just want the publicity of it. You're a con man. Then you want to go after the black sister in office. You want to jump right on her. Knew you were going to do it. Because what else would you do? You would defend Dana White, but you want to jump on this black sister for calling out, talking about what she doing on her job. All the people in the damn office You ain't never questioned what none of them was doing on their job. But you question a black woman in Congress asking what the hell she doing on her job. That ain't what you supposed to be doing, going in on Trump. What's she supposed to be doing? Do you know what she's been doing? You the journalist, right? Report on what she's been doing. Now she got the majority leader, Green. Now she wants to come aboard. What's going on now? Now Green has seen the light. I'm leaving the GOP because my family knows to pay. My family, we got this. My daughter, my kids. And she said it right. She's like, hey, I'm glad she finally seeing the light, but for the wrong reasons. You looking at your family. You was elected, and you in a place that you elected over, that got about 1 million people. You're supposed to be representing the people. Your personal interests should not come before the people. That's part of your elected office. But you ain't say shit about that, did you, Stephen A? You didn't open your mouth once. They all are done. He's standing the cheese line. All right, the backbone of a goddamn snail. Can't wait to go. Keep running from shell to shell. He's like, what about foreign affairs? Man, sit down. This is why people they look at you as a clown show. Because they know you just BSing. You done hustled your way and got all the way to this level. They done pat you on the back, gave you some money, and go work you like a dog. Until you bring them another one. You're going to be, yeah, I brought them in. Where you going to be in 10 years, Stephen? You the big brand, right? Everybody want to tune in to your show and hear what you got to say. They didn't put you on all these platforms because you switched up and went with, instead of CA, you went with William Morris. And William Morris and Ari Emanuel start putting you on soap operas and all these things, trying to make you into something that you're not. Right, he don't have any facts. He don't have anything. All he was doing is talking. The whole time he was just getting down right here, he was just talking. The whole time he was just talking. It's some disgusting things. What was disgusting? You got to pay this guy off, got to do a favor here, you got to do a favor there. What kind of favor? What are you just talking? That's it. You're just talking. Just say, I don't want the job. Because the job is hard. So if you don't want the job and the job is hard and you don't know what it detains, then shut the hell up about the people that's doing it. Because debate and all that's not the job. That's campaigning for the job. See, he just want to go out there and grandstand. He don't want to actually do the work. So if you don't want to do the work, quit talking about how you could beat anybody for president. What's the point if you ain't gonna do the damn job? Ain't that what you complaining about now? Nothing getting done? You make yourself look like a clown. You're exposing what you truly are. Everybody can see it. You're a liar. Until you present that article that you wrote that got Coach Gaines fired, the one that made you the straight shooter, what they said they called you, man, he called me a straight shooter after that. You ain't never presented that. That is an article you would have framed. Why no one in the world could find that article? It's not in the archives. It's not anywhere because it's a lie. It's a bold Stephen A. Smith lie. You're a liar. And until you provide that article, this mystery article that didn't appear anywhere, exactly. I have no more time for this dude, man. I'm finna get up out of here. Later, man. Y'all can go check him out and listen to him bullshit even more and more. His ego just gets bigger and bigger as this thing keeps going. But anyway, I'm through giving him my time. I'm out.